Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, your Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope that you had a fabulous weekend. I have a fabulous little treat box to share with you today. And I went to Cracker Barrel the other day for lunch, and I found these absolutely fabulous Reed's root beer Lifesavers. Do y'all remember them? Let me grab this bag right quick. So they're classic root beer Lifesavers, and I remember these from a kid. They are so good. I absolutely love them. And when I saw them sitting at the counter, you know, they have those little bins there where they rope you into getting useless, crazy things you really don't need, but you're standing in line waiting to check out, and you see this fabulous little roll of Reed's root beer, and you can't help yourself, you just grab a few. So I decided that maybe I should make a little gift box for them as well, so that I could have a reasonable excuse to purchase them. As if I need an excuse better than they're delicious, I love them. So today's little Make It Monday video is this fabulous little treat box. Super adorable, very simple, very easy. We're going to go through this real quick, okay? Now, you'll see the measurements and the template over on my blog later on this evening. So you can head over there for that if you need to, but this is really simple. So, all right, here's what you're going to need. You're going to need a piece of cardstock. This is going to measure 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, 3 3/4 by 4 1/4. And then you're going to need a little piece of acetate. This is 1 5/8 by 2 7/8. Now, you don't really have to have that, but I think that it just finishes the box off really nicely. You're also going to need your linen thread, a little scrap of white cardstock, and as you can see by the flowers and the framelit, I am using the Free as a Bird bundle. I'm actually just using this flower, and the thank you, and then one of the little nested framelits. But as you can see, I could easily change it out for the thanks for being you, or the hello, you know, or I could make a little skinnier banner and put we're the best of friends, or you get the idea. You can dress it up however you like. Okay, so what we're going to do, first off, as you can see from the template, we're going to make just a few score lines, and then we're going to use our classic label punch. That's this one right here, and this is what I'm going to use to make the window. So it's actually easy peasy to do. Let's do that right now. Let me grab my scoreboard. Okay, and I'm going to start on the short side. So I have the longer side going up and down, and I'm going to score every 7/8 of an inch. So as you can see from the template here, I'm going to score at 7/8 of an inch. I'm going to score again at 1 3/4, 2 5/8, and then one last time at 3 1/2 inches. Now that's going to give me this little 1/4 of an inch tab for me to glue it together when I'm done. Now I'm going to rotate it to the long side, and here we're doing 5/8 of an inch for these tabs on the ends. So we're going to score it at 5/8 of an inch, and then again at 3 5/8, and that will give us our 5/8 inch on either side. Okay, now that is it for the scoring. Let me put that away, get my bone folder out, and burnish these lines really well. I'm going to burnish the lines first because it'll make it easier for me to slide the cardstock into the punch, and also it gives us those really nice sharp creases that just make a project look fabulous. So let me get that here, that last little 1/4 of an inch fold, and then do our end tabs. Now this project is super simple, super easy. You are going to love it. Okay, now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to miter this little 1/4 inch tab. So I'm just going to take it at an angle there, and I'm going to cut that whole section off. I don't need it. It's just adding bulk and it's not necessary. Let's miter it on this side, cut it across on that side, and we're done. And then we're just going to cut up the tabs nice and easy. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 1, 2, 3, and 4 on that side. Alright, now the next thing that we're going to do is bring our scrap paper in. No, I have not replaced my cruddy old one yet. This one is just another one. I have the cruddy old one off to the side. I'm using Versamark ink and the bigger of the 2 flowers to just stamp all over my paper. This is giving me a pretty little pattern without being too overwhelming for such a small package. Now, I don't know if you've noticed when you make small packages, you really have to be careful about the images that you put on there because you don't want it to overwhelm your project, right? So let me put just a little one right there, and there we go. So I want just a simple and soft little design for this project. Get that out of the way. Alright, now I'm going to bring the label punch in, and I'm looking for the middle score line there. Now I'm not counting the tab, but there are 3 score lines here, and I want this one here. So I'm just going to fold it in half, and I'm going to line it up on my punch. And you know, the wonderful thing about this exact project is that it happens to be the perfect width of the punch. So I can actually fold the tabs up so that it helps center it in the middle. And then I'm just going to try to eyeball where I think center is here and give it a little punch. And there's our window. Now we're going to take our acetate sheet, and because it's a weird number on this end, we're not able to take it to the scoreboard and score it, so we're going to have to just do it ourselves. And acetate is kind of tricky to score, so I want you to just take your time for a minute, and you'll just give it a simple crease to secure your fold on this corner and then over to this corner. And once you do that, you can kind of work your way to the middle, and then you can bring in the bone folder and give it a really good crisp edge. Okay, that right there is the most difficult part of the whole project. Okay, now what I want to do is bring in my liquid adhesive, and I'm just going to run a strip here and here. You can run it all the way around if you feel like it. Come on, glue. In trying not to get it all over the place, it takes it just a minute to come out. There we go. And I'm just running it along the edge. You want to stay as close to the edge as possible, so that way you're not getting glue on the open areas of your window. So now I'm going to line this up with the score line on the cardstock, and that should get me pretty close to the edge where the fold line is. Alright, and then I'm going to bring it over and do the same thing on this side. Now that's actually going to help me just a little bit to make my box, because it's going to help hold it kind of upright. Now, once I get that glued in, I can go ahead and give it a little pinch over one more time, and then pop it upright so it's square. Okay, now You can use your liquid glue, but I'm going to use some tear and tape, and I'm just going to run a strip along this part right here. I want that tab to be glued down real well so that it doesn't fall apart. I mean, you don't want your gifts to come undone, right? So let me burnish that down real good and get my take your pick tool. This thing is absolutely fabulous in getting the backing off of those silly things. It's like the dimensionals. They are so hard to get the backings off of sometimes, but having that tool really helps. Now, because we have 4 standard panels, the wonderful thing about this is that we can fold this panel over, and then this panel will line up perfectly, just like that, and there is the basis of our box. Isn't that easy? So easy. Alright, now, I struggled with how I wanted to fold this. Did I want to fold it this way, or did I want to fold it this way? Ultimately, I ended up doing it this way. It really doesn't matter. You can do it whichever way you want to, but I'm going to bring the liquid glue back in, or you could use the tear and tape again, whichever you want to do. It's entirely up to you. It's your project. Alright, now that I've got that glue on that end, I'm going to go ahead and stick my little Reed's root beer. Now let me warn you, this is one incredibly tight fit for this box. So you're going to have to do some fitting in there. And I would turn the root beer the way you want it to show in the end, because it's going to be hard to twist it around after the fact, okay? So let's see here. I want this, 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 and then this. Yes, that's what I want. Okay. So there we go. Just like that. And then let me glue that down. Give it just a little bit more. There we go. Glue and glue. Alright, there is our box. Fabulous and ready to go. Now let's embellishment. Now, I really kept it nice and simple. I just put a strip of the linen thread around it and then the little thank you. Because the box is so small, it's really easy to overwhelm it, and I didn't want to do that. So I went ahead and pre-cut the nested shape out of Whisper White cardstock. Now this is the technically the second smallest nested die. You can see there's the one. It's that one right there. It works really well. For this in particular, it's fabulous. So I'm going to use the thank you stamp and our Memento black ink. Let me bring it down to my level where I can see and not stick my face in the camera. And stamp. There we go. Let's let that dry for just a second. I just re-inked my stamp pad and that bugger is juicy. Alright, let me set that aside. Grab my linen thread. Let's go ahead and tie that bow first, shall we? Okay, now tying bows is always the most fun thing ever, isn't it? I can get the bow tied just fine, but the pressure and keeping it snug against the project is always my challenge. Alright, let's see if I can get this. I fear it's going to loosen up a little here. Yep, it did. Try this again. Give me another shot, friends. Give me another shot. And of course, always on camera, it acts badly. There we go. Oh, I didn't grab it. There it is. It's tiny, tiny little bows. Ugh. Alright. It's going to be a pest. And bear with me here, friends. I'm struggling. I am riding the struggle bus right now. Alright. So just an FYI, even Stampin' Up! Demos sometimes struggle with the bows. Now I know that my girls are watching this right now and laughing because I always make them tie bows, or I tie the bows for them, and every time they see a project with a bow on it, they cringe. But we're going to overcome this. It's now a vendetta. Worst case scenario, you could put a glue dot on it and hold it, which I think is what I'm gonna do at this point. Alright, so look here. I'm gonna take my little take your pick tool, and I'm gonna put a little glue dot just right there. I'm gonna tie that down directly over it. Now the trick of using this glue dot is that you definitely want to make sure you've got it right in the middle of that bow, so that way when you get it tied, it's not gonna show. Okay, so let me get this here. This thread is just so little. That's where that take your pick tool comes in handy again. And then look there, I got it. See how much easier it is when you use the glue dots? Alright, there we go. Now I need my petal pink ink and my petal pink dauber, because I am going to ink up the edges. I thought when I did this that was just too plain, so I wanted to give it just a little something, you know, just a little something. So we're going to put some ink around the edges here, give it a little bit of that vintage color. So pretty. I absolutely love petal pink with crumb cake. It is one of my favorite color combinations. I am all about the vintage, shabby chic, antique stuff. I love it. Okay, now as I'm going around this time, I've got all my edges inked up. I'm going to use up a bit of that ink to kind of go more into the center. If you notice here, it's more discolored in the center. This has still got a little bit of starkness to it. Yes, that's my word, starkness. And I'm just going to go along the edges and work my way into the middle ever so gently, because I don't want to make too much color, but there we go. I want it to have just a little hint of color. Alright, now I'm going to stamp the flower, but I'm also going to stamp it off just one time and then put it right in the middle, just like that. I like it stamped off once so that it's not quite so in your face. It's just very soft and subtle and lovely. Alright, now let me take some of my dimensional scraps here. I hope that you use up every scrap of your dimensionals. And this time, I'm gonna put the thank you over on this side, because I've got my bow on that other side. I want to put this on the opposite side. And there we go. Very cute. Now, I still think it needs just a little something, so I'm going to take some of our basic pearls, and come on now, and I'm just going to put one there, and I'm going to put one there. And I'm gonna put one there. No, I don't like that. I don't like that. What is that? I don't think I need it. I think that's plenty. You know what? I'll put it there. trying to stick with my rules of 3 here. Trying to stick with it. Let's put you up just a little higher. There we go. Okay, I like that. That'll work. That will work. Now let's put it on this one too. And one more. How about right there? All right, very good. There we go, folks. What do you think about that? I hope that you enjoy these little projects. Super simple, super easy. You know, you could put any kind of Lifesavers or anything in here, and also you could modify this box very easily to fit just a little chapstick or some other kind of tube type treat or lotion or anything like that. So I hope that you've enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope that you try this for yourself, and I certainly hope that you head over to Cracker Barrel and see if you can find some of the Reed's Root Beer Lifesavers, because they're absolutely fabulous and you're gonna love them. I have so much going on right now with Stampin' Up! This month is the bonus days where you can get $5 worth of bonus coupons to use next month with every $50 that you purchase, which is super fabulous. I also have a recruiting promotion going on right now where you get an additional $40 worth of Stampin' Up! Products and supplies for the same 99 bucks. So if you want some information about that, I would love to have you on my team. And you can find more information on my website, danasullivan.stampinup.net, or you can head over to my blog and find more information there. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure that you head over to stampinchicktn.blogspot.com for the measurements and instructions, and for more information about the promotions going on this month. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.